Hey, True Believers, England Teen here with another episode of Comic Book Origins, where we talk about the first appearance of any comic book superhero, villain, team, or object for that matter. This time around, of course, we're talking about Iron Fist. Created during a time when basically every young lad like myself was into martial arts characters, and they watched Gil Kane, Roy Thomas, 1974, watching a kung fu movie starring Bruce Lee. It was called Five Fingers of Death. Said, hey, they just said something about Iron Fist. That'd be a cool name. We should do that. And Stan Lee said, hey, yeah, that's an excellent name. Let's make this comic book happen. Cool thing is actually they stole it from a character called John Amon, the Amazing Man. They stole his origin from that and kind of just said, hey, let's run with it. Unfortunately for the character, Iron Fist wasn't popular, so in order to save him from being canceled, they teamed him up with Power Man and Iron Fist. But with all that aside, let's take a look at the first appearance of Iron Fist, Marvel Premiere, number 15. As always, we take a look at the cover first. I think this is a little bit better than the Richard Dragon, considering I do kind of put those two together here. Richard Dragon and Iron Fist. It's not iconic, but at least you can tell who the main star is and what the action is, if not what exactly is going on. He's kicking the crap out of a whole bunch of bad guys. What else do you need? Strange thing, it opens with a splash page, and there is a little bit of Stan Lee-isms. A shining new star in the flame-flecked Marvel heavens, planned, plotted, and polished by Roy Thomas and Gil Kane. But that's about it. Otherwise, it goes straight into Iron Fist's thought process. You're Iron Fist. You stand tensely, too tensely, aware of their eyes on you. UT, the hooded one, and his 4 dragon kings. And facing you, 4 others edge closer, searching for an opening. A moment of weakness, the careless flickering of an eyelid. 4. This is your day of destiny, Iron Fist. Today, you will eat of the fruit of the tree of immortality, or else drink deep of the elixir of death. Lord save us from the freaking drama queens of martial arts life. However, Iron Fist does continue his inner monologue, and always under the blazing shrouded eyes of UT, who is called the august personage of Jade. UT and the Lung Wang, the Dragon Kings. Again, your 4 stalkers move closer, poised to strike. You assume the cat stance. You wait, you taunt, and they attack. Hi! Then you move. A rock smash blow fells one, the sword hand another, while a third is dropped by an elephant kick. You whirl. One man, still doubled with pain, receives the blow of the hammer. Another, already reeling, you dispose of with the monkey blow. The 4th attacker, more cautious than his fellows, only now makes his forward leap. Still, he has merely delayed his punishment, not evaded it. A single lightning kick gives him sorrow to remember till the end of this days. And we basically see Iron Fist just beating up the 4 guys that were standing in front of him. But both the fight and the inner monologuing continues. But you have grown careless, Iron Fist, in allowing yourself even a moment's contemplation of the carnage your weapon limbs have wrought. For now, only a rush of air warns you of attack from a new quarter, and only thunderbolt reflexes and a second sword hand blow save you from the very fate you've oft dealt to others. Your eyes dart upward for an instant, expecting perhaps a fleeting glance of praise, to meet only with other eyes that say nothing. Thus you turn anew to your attackers, and divert the fury now boiling within you against them instead of UT. At the last 2 alone are left to come at you, 2 alone, and these made reckless by rage, their assault born more of desperation than of the knowledge which is the one true path. They are perhaps good men, honest men. Meet them outside this amphitheater and they might even have been your friends. But you cannot afford to think of that now, as your combined ram's head blow and dragon stamp in forever their dreams of martial arts glory, and they crumple as one man to the arena floor. So we see Iron Fist basically defeat everybody. He turns to the leader of K'un Lun Mountain, UT, and says, all right, dude, I'm ready for the next challenge. And UT's like, whoa, the next challenge is for you to just stay and contemplate the things that have brought you to this point.
Give him a minute, son. Dewey Cox needs to think about his entire life before he plays.
So Iron Fist decides, okay, I'll remember myself. And he says, you see, yourself as you were, It was almost exactly 10 years ago when 4 black specks made their trackless way across the snow-crusted Asian wastes. Why's it gotta be about black? So basically Danny Rand, or we haven't met him as Danny Rand yet, kind of imagines and remembers himself with his mother and his father climbing the Himalayas as his father searches for Shangri-La. And we find out that the guy with them is named Meacham, and he is the partner of Iron Fist's dad. They do recognize the fact that the dad's a little bit obsessed with this Shangri-La place, this K'un Lun mountain place that he's supposed to be finding. Danny's watching his father to the point where he doesn't notice his footing, and he goes over the edge, bringing his mother and eventually his father with him. The rope breaks. Danny and his mother land on a ledge. She took the brunt of it, protecting him. Above, you can see the father, and he's calling to Meacham to throw them a rope and do something. Meacham says, I'll do something, but you're not going to like it. And he stomps on Papa Rand's hand until Papa Rand falls to his death. This is the plot of The Lion King, isn't it? You remember it clearly, don't you, Iron Fist? Your father fell for a long time, and the last you could see of him was a view of something very like a broken doll, caroming ludicrously from an outcropping of jagged rock. Now, personally, I kind of like the use of the black blood. This book so far has been a lot bloodier than what I thought it would be. But of course, in order to avoid the censors, it's in the shadows and darkened and all that kind of stuff. But it's a good touch. The family looks on as Meacham decides to gloat. And you wondered why I accompanied you, Wendell Rand? Well, now there is no more Meacham and Rand, only Rand Inc. Wait, what? And no one will ever be able to prove I killed you. Exhilaration was sweeping over Harold Meacham's exhilaration and a sense of power when the first rock struck and bloodied his cheek. Perhaps that is why he looked more shocked than truly hurt. Or because it was thrown by an injured woman or a small child about 20 feet away to a higher position. There's so many reasons why that just wouldn't. It was, oh, goodness gracious, somebody tried to throw something at me. It was a snowball. So Meacham calls down to the lady and says, hey, I did it for you because I love you. Don't you want to be with me, or you want to die? And she goes, yes, I want to die, and I want my son to die rather than grow up to kill you or live in a world with you. And he says, all right, see ya. And leaves him there, and she's like, all right, are you ready to climb up? Are you ready to try? And Danny Rand says, yes, mother, yes, and we flash back to Iron Fist, ready. So Iron Fist basically says, all right, bring on the next challenge. And he's like, you've got to battle one guy. And he's like, dude, I can't take one guy. I took down 4. And he's like, yeah, but not like this. And they describe him. He's as fast as lightning, and his fists are like thunderbolts. Everybody's kung fu fight. Anyway, so they do the little bow to each other, and then the battle begins. Much to Iron Fist's chagrin, his blows aren't doing any damage, and he almost gets his butt kicked. Iron Fist begins again his inner monologue. Almost unbelieving now, you seek to take advantage of the slow ponderous of the hooded man's vast bulk. Your nimble feet find their target surely enough. But once more, Shou-Lao seems scarcely shaken by the impact. His own clenched fists are far from slow. First they tell us he's lightning quick. Then they say he's huge and ponderous. Now they're saying he's lightning quick, or at least his fists aren't. Consistency, kids. That's all we ask for. So the Dragon Kings begin to mock him. So, August 1, this gaudily festooned weakling is he whom you would welcome into the company of the Immortals? Rather, it seems to this one that he should be turned out again into the endless snows that drift beyond our gates of dreams. And they continue to watch Iron Fist basically get his butt severely kicked. And as Iron Fist is pummeled into weakness, he remembers his mother's strength, who carried him back onto the ledge from which they were thrown through the snow. She found shelter for them, but soon a pack of wolves show up. His mother hurries him along, and he asks what his father was actually looking for, and she says it's some city and that she didn't really believe it existed. But as she's saying this, they see a bridge, and she can't believe her eyes that this thing could exactly be real. But soon the wolves show up, and she tells Danny to run for the bridge. Hurry, darling, hurry. They make it to the safety in the hard wood of the bridge, only to realize, wait a second, those wolves will still eat us. So the mother tells Danny to run as fast as he can, and she turns around and basically feeds herself to the wolves to save his life. Now, I told you guys this book is a little bit more gruesome than the 1970s creation date made it seem to be. So Danny cries out, "Mother!" And look at his eyes. This is a kid who is now looking at his torn apart mother, by the way. You saw then what you saw and you'll never forget it. Yet, as you started back to her, heedless of the cost, mindless of the fanged peril, suddenly strong hands were there, gripping, holding, and the next instant we see a bunch of crossbows. You didn't wonder then at the men who had appeared as if from nowhere, at the weapon of another age which had fired too late. "She is dead. Mother, I've got it. But you are among the living once more. Welcome, lad. Welcome to K'un Lun." You didn't even hear him then, did you? Your tears were too loud, your sorrow too strident, your young body too racked with too many kinds of different pain. Pain from a different kind from that you feel today, though no less real for all that. But now the realities come pouring over you again like a tidal wave of agony, like a thundercloud of dark despair, like the shadow of death itself. I am Iron Fist. I was trained to be a living weapon, to defend myself from anything human. Yet you toss me about like a child's broken plaything. Who are you? He watches as his opponent basically fires a dagger out of the palm of his hand and into his shoulder. His mother's spirit appears before him, and he's able to call forth some sort of strength. You hear her voice once again from out of the past, and it dulls the pain you feel, dulls it into insensitivity, then oblivion. No longer do you feel the pain, and the blood which drops could easily belong to a child who perished 10 years ago. Now you are merely Iron Fist, and you are as well a man gone berserk. And we see the craze in his eyes as he goes, "Hi-ya!" and kicks him into in the head. You know you failed before with blows you thought your strongest, but that doesn't matter now as you leap anew into the jaws of steel-fleshed doom. And we watch as Iron Fist strikes harder and harder. As you strike again and again and yet again, now you can feel the hard man-forged metal beneath the hood, feel it start to give and bend and twist. The ponderous giant moves become sluggish, slow, mechanical, and if it could feel pain, its pain would dwarf any that you have ever known. At least, and at last it totters, reels, yet it is still too strong to fall, and now an icy calm settles over you. A calm which is finally your greatest strength. You call silently inward upon the invincible will which forms the very core of your being. Unfathomed reserves of concentration and resolve flow from your brain, your shoulders, your legs, from every part of a body honed for 10 long years. Flow, meld, and merge into one place, into your hand, until it begins to smolder and glow, until it becomes like unto a thing of iron. You do not even need to look at it, do you? You know the strength that is there. You can sense the sheer, naked power which radiates from your clenched hand, as if with a life of its own. Now more than ever, now perhaps really for the first time, you are Iron Fist, and you... We read as we see him smash the robot's head to pieces. And you are triumphant. I can see it clearly now, O august personage, you dragon kings. First, the challenge of the many, then of the one, and lastly, the challenge of myself, of my will to live, of my fitness to live. I stand bloody but unbowed, never bowed. And I claim at last the right which now is mine to claim. Then slowly in deep sepulchral tones comes the answer you knew would come. Yes, my son. You have won. The right is yours. The right to choose between immortality, eternal life, and death. But we've no room left to show it or to reveal to you the other full, unfettered secrets of the uncanny origins of Iron Fist. Until next issue, ladies and gentlemen. And we also see that this series is affectionately dedicated to the memory of Bill Everett, a most amazing man. So there you go, gang. That is the first appearance of Iron Fist. This is a book I haven't read in a long time, in all honesty, so I kind of dug it. It's still fun. It's a very simple story. Like I said, it is a bit derivative of many that came before it, but the kung fu's cool. The fighting of the robot, I forgot that he was fighting a robot, and I gotta say, I was like, a little bit more human. I do think it was a lot darker than what I remember it being as well. But overall, it was still a lot of fun. It's still a good book. What did you think? Let me know in the comments below. Also, click on one of the videos that are popping up around you here, because I know I put up some other comic book origins. Check them out. I've even got a playlist to go through. It's a lot of fun. A lot of comic book origin videos over a lot of different kind of heroes and villains, so please check those out. And if you don't mind helping out the channel, click like, share, subscribe, ring the notification bell. Make sure it's set on all. If you want to help out the channel financially, go on over to Ko-Fi, drop $1 in the till. Links in the description below. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.